You're lying on the couch minding your own business. When you open that app, there it is, a little red dot screaming that your portfolio is down 3% since yesterday. Cue the phantom chest tightness. You swipe down to refresh. Nothing changes. You refresh again, hoping for a miracle. You text a friend. You seeing this? Within 10 minutes, you've panic sold 2 holdings and bought another on a whim, all because a digital pixel changed color. Don't beat yourself up. If we dragged one of your ancestors from 10,000 years ago into the modern world, they'd probably think we've lost our minds. But here's the kicker. Those cave-dwelling ancestors made far better financial decisions than you did today. This isn't because they were geniuses. It's because your brain, the incredibly complex organ that kept humanity alive for millennia, is currently acting as your wealth's worst enemy. Think about the timeline of human existence. For 99% of our history, survival meant immediate physical feedback. If you climbed a tree and found wild honey, you ate it immediately because calories were scarce. If you heard a low growl in the brush, you bolted because hesitating for a single second meant death. The concepts of compounding interest and global stock indexes have existed for a mere microsecond in evolutionary time. We are trying to navigate a hyper-complex digital financial ecosystem using hardware built to dodge leopards. Every time you stare at a falling stock chart, your primal brain doesn't see a minor market fluctuation. It sees a dry season, a dying crop, or a dangerous predator closing in on your camp. 10,000 years ago, survival was just a series of high-stakes investment decisions. Should we plant all our wheat seeds now or save half for winter? Do we store the grain in one big pit or spread it across 3 camps? Can we trust the guy from the next valley, or is he going to steal our tools? These weren't just chores, they were calculated risks. But your ancestors had a massive advantage that you've been stripped of: peace and quiet. The legendary psychologist Daniel Kahneman won a Nobel Prize for figuring out why we struggle with this. He pointed to present bias, our hardwired obsession with immediate rewards over long-term survival. When you check your stock app 3 times before lunch, you're essentially force-feeding your brain useless noise. Your ancestors couldn't check the price of wheat hourly. The harvest came once a year. The trading caravan showed up every few months. They made a call, crossed their fingers, and went about their lives. They trusted the plan because they literally had no other choice. What you feel when that red notification pops up isn't rational financial concern. It's a full-blown survival hijack. Think of it this way. On the savannah, a rustle in the bushes meant a saber-toothed cat. Your amygdala flooded your system with cortisol, you ran, the danger passed, and your body reset. Today, a red percentage drop triggers the exact same cortisol flood. Except, there is nothing to run from. You just sit on your sofa, marinating in stress hormones, clicking trade to make the bad feeling go away. The feedback loop is broken. We make a trade, see the instant red or green feedback, and our brains never get the chance to calm down. And let's be honest, the apps we use are designed by geniuses who want us anxious. Behavioral engineers at tech firms built these interfaces to exploit our survival instincts. They know what MIT researchers proved. More updates equal worse choices. When day traders got real-time price feeds, they traded more frequently and lost more money. It's a self-inflicted cycle. This self-inflicted cycle isn't an accident. It is the business model. They make money when you are active. So, they hired the same UX designers who built casino slot machines to design your trading portfolio interface. They added bright colors, haptic vibrations, and celebratory digital confetti when you execute a simple trade. They send push notifications not to inform you, but to startle you back into the app's ecosystem. When a stock dips, they flash it in warning light red, triggering a physical emergency response in your body. We think we are participating in a sober financial market, but we are actually pulling a casino lever. But the trap goes deeper. We've also built a digital tribe to feed our collective investment anxiety. When your portfolio takes a hit, you don't sit in silence. You hop online to read forums and group chats. Psychologists call this the illusion of control. We seek out massive amounts of information to feel like we're doing something. We mistake gathering information for managing risk, reading endless opinions from self-proclaimed financial gurus. On the savannah, sticking to a panicked herd made sense if everyone started running, you ran, or got eaten. But in the stock market, the herd is almost always running off a cliff in the wrong direction. When you join the digital panic circle, you are just outsourcing your intelligence to a crowd of terrified strangers. The most successful investors in history don't act like tech-obsessed traders. They act like farmers. Warren Buffett famously checks his portfolio quarterly, not hourly. He isn't refreshing his feed in the grocery store checkout line. But we are. We've turned a tool for building wealth into a tool for self-torture. We suffer from loss aversion. Evolutionarily, losing a spear meant death. Finding a new one was just a bonus. So we feel losses twice as intensely as gains. In the wild, this caution kept us alive. In the stock market, it makes us sell our winners too early and hold on to our losers out of sheer denial. If a drought was coming, your ancestors didn't panic sell their seeds. They stored extra, diversified their crops, and leaned on their community. They planned for the long term because they knew daily weather was just noise. On the savannah, a surplus was a temporary blessing to be stored for the inevitable hard times. They lived below their means by default. They knew a good harvest didn't guarantee a mild winter. Today, we do the opposite. The moment we get a raise or a bonus, we immediately inflate our lifestyle. We take our surplus and turn it into a permanent, stressful baseline of incredibly high expenses. When the market takes a dive, we feel a physical panic because our lifestyle has zero shock absorbers. We have left ourselves no margin for error, making minor market corrections feel like literal threats to survival. Your ancestors succeeded because their environment physically prevented them from self-sabotage. To win today, you must build your own boundaries. Here are 3 simple, scientifically backed habits to set up in under 5 minutes. 1. The set it and forget it rule. If you don't care about daily market highs and lows, and just want to invest long-term into a broad sector or an ETF, this is actually the gold standard of investing. You shift from trying to predict the future to letting the global economy build your wealth in the background. How to do it? Pick one broad market ETF, set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your brokerage on payday, and turn on auto invest. 2. The pre-mortem reality check. Before you buy any investment, your brain gets blinded by excitement and only visualizes the upside. To counteract this, you need to force yourself to visualize the worst-case scenario beforehand. How to do it? Write down a 1-sentence obituary for your investment before you click buy. I'm investing $1,000. If this drops by 50% tomorrow, I will not panic sell because my plan is to hold it for 10 years. If you can't honestly agree to that sentence, keep your money in your pocket. 3. The app detox. Stock apps are designed like colorful slot machines to keep you tapping and swiping. Every time you check, you trigger an emotional reaction that tempts you to make a bad decision. Removing the app breaks the habit loop. How to do it? Delete the investment app from your phone entirely. Force yourself to only check your balance on a desktop computer web browser. By adding that slight friction, you give your logical brain time to step in and stop a panic trade. The stock market is a highly efficient machine designed to transfer wealth from the active to the patient. Your ancestors survived by reacting to every rustle in the grass. You will survive by ignoring them. To win the modern game of wealth, you must learn to act blind. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.